I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for checking out the Activist series. So today, I'm going to present some information for a lot of activists out there that are, trying to contemplate whether they want to go socialist or not. The thing is that if you get involved in the activism field, you're going to see that there's quite a few socialist groups out there, like Workers' World Party. There used to be, I used to be part of an organization called the International Socialist Organization, Democratic Socialist America, all these other, and they have like a pretty significant footprint, on the political scene. But the thing is that I'll tell you my experience and project this out towards all the socialist groups in general. So the thing is that when I first got involved with socialist organization, it wasn't because, I had read like, Marx or, Lenin or any of those things and said, this is the answer to today's problems. I was just a normal, college student with maybe a particular, passion for helping the underserved. And I would see flyers around and it would say, oh, like help us fight racism, help us, there's this injustice that went on over here. Maybe like someone got locked up for no reason. So, that was interesting to me. I said, I'm the type of person who wants to make a difference in my community. So I looked into it, and the demonstrations that they were part of seemed legitimate. So I had no problem with, engaging in those particular actions. So, like such as like Free Mumia Abu Jamal, like I learned about those things, about those issues. There were some workers that were striking for better wages. I was totally, that made sense to me. I could see that, the people who were workers did not have as good a position at the negotiating table. So, being a worker, I was sympathetic to those causes. But it wasn't like, I was really married to this particular idea. Now, the group of guys that I was running with, okay, I'd love to hear from you guys. I don't know if I hope my channel is not very big, but I hope one of you guys one day gets to actually, see this and reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you guys. A lot of my favorite memories, some of my favorite memories are from those times. Anyways, so we were going out to these events, and we were a very small clique because we were from Buffalo. And the thing is that there was some national organization, right? And because they had a East Coast division, they had a West Coast division, they had a national branch. So we actually got to go to the national meeting in Chicago, which was very cool, right? We were all, young guys. There was a guy who was a little bit older. His name was Kurt, but he was still definitely a young guy. I think he was in his 20s, and we were all just running around. Like we didn't really have a deep understanding of what was going on. Went to Chicago. They treated us really great, actually. I have some crazy stories about that. One of these days I will actually share that on the channel. Anyways, it was a lot of good times, right? And the thing is that what happened is that I usually never really engaged in those types of I guess you could say book conversations. The thing is that I was actually interested in really making a difference in the lives of others. So if someone wanted to say theoretically this way or that way, I didn't really care about that. There were some people who were more into that than others, and most of those people honestly were in other groups. And actually our group of young active guys would say, we would often accuse them of being like armchair activists or things like that. They would tell us the reason why they couldn't come out to the demonstration with us, or they just say we need a revolution, and they weren't working out or anything. They weren't going to start a revolution, and a lot of times people had cushy, jobs at universities and stuff. They were either like TAs, or maybe they were even some of them might even be professors, things like that, and they were content to sit back in their nice houses and their nice faculty lounges and stuff, and talk about the revolution, but as in terms of doing the actual work, where were they? So they I never really took them that seriously, right? Even stuff that didn't have to be on the front lines, they could have engaged in letter writing campaigns to help political prisoners, and that was something that we engaged in, and it just wasn't worth their time to show up to those types of things. This is actually going to kind of play into some of the idea that I'm going to talk about in a moment. So the thing is, we went to the national convention, and there's actually a executive meeting, where the the higher ups in the organization we're going to, meet and discuss certain things. So we're like, yeah, we want to go. This is so cool. Like, we want to sit in. Maybe we'll get to vote or something. Like, we had no idea how this was supposed to work. There was no voting. Nothing happened. Actually, their executive meeting was closed to the public, or even members like ourselves. And this troubled us because we said, we're here. We want to engage. We can understand that we don't get to vote or something. At least we want to see what's going on. We want to learn about this stuff. We want to be part of it, but there was no discussion about it. And that was really other than within our group. The Nationals just said, we're not talking about this. Go away. So look, we understood, right? Because being in a socialist organization, it was kind of controversial. So we knew that there could be some type of possible problems that could be occurring. So we understood, but we said for ourselves, right? For our own Buffalo branch, that was something that we found troubling. So we said, we're going to actually think this was a cool way for us to say we're completely transparent. We're going to be open to the public. You can come and join us. So we actually voted to make our executive board meetings, open to the public. This was not a protest. This was not like we were pointing the finger at Nationals and saying that they were bad. But they actually got wind of this and they actually de-recognized our entire group. What? There was no discussion, anything. They just jacked us out, and we're afterwards we were looking at each other we're still gonna do this stuff, but what are they doing here? You know what I mean? So there was some discussion about this thing called the Vanguard Party, and the Vanguard Party is people, in the movement, right? Whatever cause you're working towards, there's going to be people that have been working, maybe longer in that particular issue or have more knowledge about it. They're the vanguards. They're the ones who are kind of leading the whole process. So the thing is that you're supposed to give your own autonomy, and just trust them and follow what they say. And we could, maybe I would be willing to work within that framework to an extent, but eventually I want to be able to get that information, right, on some kind of an acceptable timeline, or I want to understand what's going on. I'm not going to just be a mindless robot. That's not what I signed up for. I'm not going to be your soldier, unless I believe in the cause right here. So that was troubling, and the fact that they did recognize us without any conversation at all. Look, honestly, I think it was just probably someone made a mistake. You know what I mean? And this can happen in any organization, where certain even groups, right, can just be sidelined or just pushed off to the side by someone who's just being lazy and not doing their job correctly. So the critical thing that I want to say here is that capitalism, or not saying that I'm pro-capitalist either, or socialist, whatever, but there's definitely opportunities in both systems for oppression and to silence other voices and to dismiss other voices without really giving them opportunity to express themselves, right? How can any democracy truly protect the interests of the minority? If it's a true majority rules, then you can every time you can just oppress that minority. In fact, they might be incentivized to do so. So, oh boy, a lot of these socialist things, they talk about true democracy, but then they also talk about protecting the rights of the minority because they're trying to build a coalition to really do what they need to do. But once you contribute, right, what's going to leave you? Are they going to leave you holding the bag, or are they going to desert you and leave you all alone, or maybe even start to become new oppressors? So the thing is that being a minority myself too, I'm more maybe aware. I'm not going to say I'm not here to call white people bad or anything like that, but sometimes they're just not aware of things that happen to people like us, especially being Asian, right? You hear about black problems, people take those things seriously. Asian male problems are not really something, and that's fine, actually that opens my perspective in different ways, so there's some positives to that as well. But if people are going to say that there's a certain system that's going to take care of everything, okay, that is not cool. Okay, not saying that person's bad or anything, but that is misinformed. It has to be a constant struggle, right? Because no one's perfect. No system is perfect. And right? And even if the system, whatever system they want to, even if they want to believe that's perfect, the human application of that system will not be perfect. That's guaranteed. So there has to be constant checking of procedures to make sure that things align to a certain pathway. And the thing is that people who, start to take control, what's going to happen is that they're not going to want to hear any dissent. And the more control they have, the less dissent they will tolerate. that's something that's very often the case. And I've been in those positions of power as well, or I would not say power, I would say responsibility. Okay, this term of power, using you have the power, I don't have the power, right? No, they have I would rephrase that and say responsibility. Yeah, and people are not really living up to their responsibilities, right? They're taking some easy way out, or they're actually just misinformed and going the wrong direction. So for people that are actually thinking about becoming socialists, if you want to do socialism, that's cool. Actually, I'm very sympathetic to a lot of the ideals there, right? I don't need to own things, and I'm okay if someone else owns it, because I'm just not like that. Other people may believe that it has to benefit me, otherwise I'm not going to be for it. And there's a lot of truth to that, right? But if it's for you and for the larger community at large, and we can kind of get a grip on this and work in a manner where we have win-win solutions versus zero-sum game where I win at your expense because you've lost, right? There are some situations that are like that, but as a society, we can really use our technology, use our minds to really build those solutions where everybody's taken care of for the betterment of the whole society, rather than predating on others. If you want to play that game, oh boy, I'm kind of fit, we could play this game, we could go fight it all day. You really want to fight all day and be bloodied up, not against me, you don't, so and I'm ready to go if I have to, but I don't want to be like that, and I hope that you don't want to be like that either. It's kind of a what do they call it, dystopian future, right? Well, let's fight for the future, for a compassionate future, for a future where we can help each other, right? And socialism isn't necessarily that. Socialism can be definitely oppressive. So, and capitalist systems, right? They don't really talk about compassion at all, right? But compassion has to be part of the whole entire, equation, right? Compassion is not something that we can just get rid of. It's part of the whole overall equation. So we got to bring it all into the mixture, right? I'm not going to say that we're going to throw out capitalism, or throw out socialism, or throw out personal responsibility, or throw out responsibility for others. We can't throw any of it out. We got to take it all and make it all work together. And that's the awesome challenge that you have as an activist and an organizer. So hit me up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm looking forward to the next one. Peace.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
The truth of these
we
words
are on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.